Now, you hire him because you want him to take video of it. You said earlier if they did something illegal.
Right.
What illegal thing do you think they could do?
Open up the casket, not transfer the casket.
Did you really have a concern that they wouldn't transfer the casket?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
This is a plaintiff, Dennis. He says he hired the defendant to videotape the relocation of his deceased wife's coffin from one gravesite to another. And the guy botched the job because he missed the actual coffin transfer. He wants a full refund of the $340 he paid him. And he's suing for just that. This is the defendant, Roger Gara. He says he's a private eye who's a military guy who did everything the right way. He did 2 hours of surveillance and 2 hours of editing and deserves to be paid. End of story. He's accused of missing it big time.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Dennis, you hired
Yes.
Warstone Enterprises, represented here by the owner, Roger Guerra, to do some work for you, and you feel that the work he did is subpar and you should get your money back. Talk to me and tell me what was going on here.
Yeah, my family casket was supposed to be moved from one cemetery to another cemetery.
Why?
Because they wouldn't put a monument, a picture monument where we wanted it.
Let's back up a second. This is who's in the casket? Your wife passed away?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. And that happened when? At the end of 2019?
Yes.
So when you folks got the monument a year later, they told you couldn't put that monument there?
No, I went to the cemetery office, asked them get a price for the monument, picture monument.
Uh-huh.
And they said, any monument you get, we're going to turn it backwards. I said, what?
Why?
Cemetery rules.
Okay, well,
I have a single plot.
Whatever. You're satisfied that you had no further right to do it the way you wanted to because you decided that you were going to exhume the casket and inter it in another cemetery, correct?
Right, she gave me that option.
And then you were paying, were you paying the cemetery folks to do that
Yes.
service? And how much did you pay them to do that service?
$2,000.
Right. All right. So then what was the reason that you hired Mr. Guerra?
I looked at it online because I could watch it from everything from the park across the street. But if they did something illegal, I would have no proof. So I figured maybe I should get some kind of video service to tape everything.
Okay. And your phone doesn't take video?
It takes video, but they would see me. They know me.
Oh, so you were trying to hide. I don't understand. Why can't you, as the husband of the deceased, be on the premises when this project is happening?
Cemetery rules, no family members are allowed in the cemetery.
Only family members can't be there? Someone else can?
Only family members.
So then if only family members are banned, why didn't you just have someone else standing there right next to it to watch what was happening?
Well, I figured it'd be better to be like a surveillance.
How'd that work out for you?
Not at all.
Okay, so now you hire him because you want him to take video of it. You said earlier if they did something illegal.
Right.
What illegal thing do you think they could do?
Open up the casket, not transfer the casket.
Did you really have a concern that they wouldn't transfer the casket?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay, so you hire him, and then you were going to pay him how much for his work?
$340.
All right, and you told him that it was going to take place at 11 o'clock in the morning, correct?
No, the funeral director told me, and I told him.
Right.
That's what the funeral director said.
Because that's what they had said to you. And then what happens on the day of?
The day of, I figured out like a detective, I figured what prevents them from starting early? Nothing. So I drove out there with a pair of binoculars just to see if they started early. And they started showing up at quarter to 9.
Quarter to 9. So what do you do?
Yes. So I called the detective, tell him that they're starting early, and he said, okay, I'll come out early.
Okay, Mr. Guerra, you were supposed to be there at 11 o'clock, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So now you get a phone call from him at 8-something in the morning saying, I know I've contracted you at 11, but I need you here right now. And what do?
Well, I went ahead. I did have other things that I do. I usually set up my appointments to do other things. I don't think he understands that of what I did for him right there, that I ran out. I took my other investigator and we ended up being over there. Now, the place that he was telling us to be at. So if you see on the video in the beginning, we had to move a cop that was right in front of us so we can take his spot.
You moved a cop? How do you move a cop?
No, I didn't move him. I just asked him if he could move over there, man. So, he was able to move out and gave us a better vision of where we were at.
This shows the machine literally
Digging.
scooping up the earth to get to the casket. And actually, by then, it's been done, I guess, because he's throwing the chain in there. And there's a person down in there at this point?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's talk about this. Whose car is that I see getting into the picture and kind of ruining things for us?
So, Your Honor, there are two different people. There's the director and the person that manages the cemetery.
Okay. What am I looking at here? Is this the other investigator's vantage point?
It's my second person.
Right. Now, at some point while you are there, what happens?
Okay. So once they're removing the casket out, they're pulling it out. Mr. Calls me up frantic, telling me to move out of there because they're not gonna do it if they see you there.
Yeah, but why did that happen? Mr. Dennis, what happened? Did you get a call from the director saying, who's that guy taping us or something?
No, I saw the two cemetery owner and the funeral director looking over their shoulder and having a meeting. I told Roger, you better get out of there because they threaten to stop it if they think you're a family member.
Okay, but did they threaten to stop it or no? You were just worried they would?
No, they threaten to stop it if they think a family member's there.
Right. My question to you is, did they call you and say, hey, have you got someone spying on us and videotaping? They didn't say that, right? Like you were just thinking, oh, no, this doesn't look good, and let's, I don't want them to stop the work.
No, if they stop, I paid it already.
No, I know. So I'm trying to figure out why you told this man to move. Because you told him to move, right? You told him to move because the director got there, right?
No, I told them before they got there where to go.
That's the car of the director, correct? That all of a sudden blocked your vantage point. Is that correct, Mr. Guerra?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and by this point, is that the casket that's on there on that white truck?
That is the where they're supposed to put the casket.
Oh, that's the concrete crypt, but it hasn't been brought down yet.
Yeah.
Is that correct, Mr. Dennis? You were watching, right, Mr. Dennis?
No, I wasn't. I had to leave to pick up my family member to go for the burial.
Why would you leave to pick up a family member in the middle of something that is so critical to you that you want to be present to watch it?
Because I had two detectives filming everything.
So you tell the detectives to move.
To a better vantage point.
And while you're moving to the other point he wants you to be at, because, by the way, let's be frank. You told him to move because he was first of all, he was blocked by that car, this car here, the tail end of which we're seeing right now.
Exactly right.
And that belongs to the director and the owner, and you were worried they would call off the job if they spotted him, right?
Exactly right, yeah.
But you knew where he had been up to that point taping, and he had been 40 minutes there.
No, I didn't know.
So then how did you know he was there now? Like, what made you magically know he was there and tell him to move?
Because like I said, they were having a meeting. There's no reason to have a meeting.
Okay, but my question to you is, how did you know he was in a place where he would have to move if you didn't know where he was? You obviously knew where he was.
Yeah, I eventually figured out where he was.
Yeah, 40 minutes into taping, okay? And then you tell him you need to move because there's two people having a meeting right in front of you, and they're going to catch you, and then they may stop this, and then he tells you to move, correct, Mr. Guerra?
Your Honor, yes. And as a matter of fact, right when we were, when he told me to move, if you move it a little bit right there, you can see that they're about to pull the casket out.
Yeah, I'm
that's
actually
when he
watching
told
the
me to
video
move.
while you're showing me the picture. So what they're doing there
So
is they're
when
bringing down the concrete crypt, and then he tells you to move, which is a really bad
When
time
they-
to tell you to move, but
At a
you're
bad
but
time.
that car is in your way anyway. Could you move
But you can
forward
still- you-
so that the car wouldn't block it?
So my reason to bringing in the other investigator was so I can have my investigator just get out of the car and go over there and record.
And did he?
But well, we weren't about to do it right now because he called me frantic, saying that if they see us over there, that they're going to stop it over there, and we needed to go run around to the back and record from another side.
Okay, so
But he did it right at the point when they were pulling the casket out.
so he tells you to move, and when you move, it's the exact point when they're actually mid-process of bringing the casket out.
Roger that.
So this is where you've moved. So now we see you from another perspective behind a fence, and at this point they already have the casket inside the crypt, the concrete crypt, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's unfortunate. You're out there for an hour and something, and the moment he wanted you to see isn't on video. So he wants his money back. And your answer is, you're the guy who told me to move because you freaked out because I'm not supposed to be there. Do you really, Mr. Dennis, do you really think for a moment that your wife isn't in there?
I'll tell you why.
Why?
The concrete company bought two concrete crypts, two concrete crypts to the cemetery to move one casket
Why did they have two?
in case one broke, I was told.
Right.
So which one did they take to the cemetery?
Okay,
That's
well,
what
I'm
the video
looking
was
at the
supposed to show.
concrete company's crypt, and there's only one casket on that. Are there supposed to be two caskets on that truck?
Yes, the detective will
I don't
verify
see
that.
another casket on that truck. I don't see another, let me rephrase it. I don't see another concrete crypt on that truck.
Yes, both the detective and the funeral director said they bought two concrete
Is that
crypts.
accurate, Mr. Guerra?
I didn't see the second one. I only saw one, Your Honor.
Well, they've got chains around the one that's in question, right? I mean, you know, we have over an hour of video watching them do this. Why would they? You would have to believe that there's some elaborate ruse on the part of the cemetery company and the concrete company to steal your $2,000, unearth the plot, go through all that sweat and trouble, and then leave the casket in there and then pretend the casket is inside the I mean, I understand that this is emotional and that, you know, you want to make sure it goes absolutely as planned. I might have just stayed there in that public place and watched it rather than going to give someone a ride. I'd have told them to take an Uber or get a ride from someone else, and I might have stayed there to see it with my own eyeballs. But so you're on the other side when the casket comes, right?
Yes,
Your Honor.
Mr. Dennis, are you on the other side when it arrives?
No, I'm in the park.
No, I mean when your wife's body was brought to the second cemetery site. Were you there?
No, I wasn't.
So did they put her in the ground without you there?
They put her in the ground before we got there.
Maybe somebody else should have given that person a ride. I don't know.
Yeah, he's sort of like handicapped.
I understand, but there are still other options besides you leaving if this was so important. I mean,
Well,
why does this guy have to give you back his money? He was out there for hours. He was following your directions. You're the one who told him to move because you got scared that they would abort everything in the middle of it. He moved only because you told him to move. So if he missed that 1 second, that was the most critical second, why did it's your fault. He moved and missed it. So how is it he should pay you back the money you paid him?
I paid him to videotape the casket move.
Right, but
There
you
was
told him to
zero-
move at that moment. So he
hold on.
videotaped it from the beginning to the end, except for the one moment he was moving. And the only reason he moved wasn't because he had an itch to move. It's because you told him to. So why would he have to refund your money?
Hold on. The videotape, he gave me 3 videotapes. None had the video that you saw.
Oh, did you see the
None.
video I just saw now, though? And that's a new
Never,
video?
that's first time. That's new video.
Okay, and what did you see in that video?
I seen that he was at a different spot.
Right, but are you satisfied with what you saw in that video? Does that give you comfort?
It doesn't give me comfort because there's 2 concrete crypts So which one was
Maybe the
buried?
one with the chains on it. That's the only thing he can see anyway. He's showing video of the one with the chains on it. Look, you know, when someone tells me, no, you can't, my immediate response is, and who's going to stop me? You and what army? Because I don't understand why they would say that you can't be there, or that you can't send a surrogate to be there and witness the whole thing soup to nuts out in the open. I don't get it, because having someone you love moved is a traumatic thing. And there should be someone, you should be able to have someone there watching it, right there, standing right there and watching it. I remember when I was giving birth, I was told, the hospital told us that we could not videotape the birth. I'm like, excuse me? Well, no, that's the hospital rules. I'm like, I don't think so. So I made sure that the godmother of my child, who was in the room, had her phone up and was videoing. I beg you, but you're not going to tell me I can't. What are you going to do? Stop me from giving birth right now? I mean, you know, but of course, the reason they do it is liability. They don't want you to catch their bad act on tape, because if you do, then you'll sue them for it. So that sounded like a really ridiculous plan to me to not video it. So we videoed it. But you know, I got to tell you, if your complaint is, I paid you $340 to be there at 11, and I changed it on you and you made yourself available at 8:30, but I don't care. I demand that of you. And then, listen, hurry up, move from where you are, because if they catch you there, they're going to stop you. And then you move, and then that's what you've missed. I don't think you've missed anything that's his fault that you missed it. I think you've missed something that's your fault that you missed it, because you told him to move in a panic. And then he moves, and now you're telling me that you're seeing video you never saw before, and you see the concrete crypt being taken out and put on the thing. You're still not satisfied. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Dennis, what are you thinking right now? You heard the judge, she found against you. How do you feel?
I just can't believe it. That video they showed is different from the video that I was sent from the detectives.
Are you convinced that your wife has been successfully transferred from one cemetery to the other? Or are you still doubt it?
I have 10% doubt.
You still have doubt. Well, I don't know. What are you going to do to be comfortable at long last?
Well, I was getting at a price for digging up the concrete vault. A little high.
Are you seriously thinking of digging her up again now in the new cemetery?
Yeah, just to take off. Just lift the lid just to make sure.
Just to take a quick look? Wow.
That's it.
You're hard to convince. Well, look, that's a whole other issue, but that's pretty fascinating that you're thinking about doing that. Anyway, unfortunately, you lost this lawsuit. Mr. Guerra, how do you feel about it? The judge found for you. How do you feel about that?
Well, more important than anything else, I'm not really trying to make the plaintiff feel bad for himself, or I just don't think he understands what really happened. I don't think he understood that it was all his fault by not keeping me there, and then we could have recorded everything on that spot.
All right. So do you think his wife was successfully moved? Do you believe it, or are you in doubt too?
I believe it. I believe that she was successfully moved. I just think that the plaintiff is having, sorrows for his wife. He's just not right in the head right now. So maybe, he'll eventually understand and stop grieving too much.
All right. Harvey, let's see what Harvey thinks about this.
So, Doug, here's the situation. The defendant did the job. It may be that the plaintiff subjectively doesn't like what he did, that he missed a part, but the judge explained he missed it because of the plaintiff's orders. So the defendant did the job, the defendant gets paid, and it doesn't matter if the plaintiff is subjectively upset. That doesn't count in court.
What is something you recently learned that you should have known already?
It seems like every day I learn something about a word, a definition of a word, or a word that I really didn't understand. And lawyers tend to think of themselves as wordsmiths, some of them, because that's their stock in trade. You're drafting contracts, you're making arguments in front of the court, you better know the meaning of the things you're talking about.
Plus, you were an English major.
I was an English major, yes. But this word came up the other day, and I learned something about it that I'd never heard before. The word is loophole. We find loopholes in contracts and things like that. Sometimes they work to our advantage, sometimes to the advantage of the other party. But the word loophole dates back to old days when there were castles. And in defending the castles, they had little holes cut in them with a slot, and you could set your bow or your crossbow or your longbow through it and just fire arrows through the hole. So they called them murder holes or loopholes.
That's weird, because a loophole in the law is something that saves you from
yeah,
the
but
rule.
It kills the other guy.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the thing. It could
So that's
save
the origin
you,
of the
or
word
it could
loophole.
kill you.
Okay.
Yes, so you might get killed by a loophole. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah,
All right?
okay.
This is the plaintiff, Kathy Wilson. She says she's been friends with the defendant for 30 years and bought 13 tickets to a Martin Lawrence comedy show, which was canceled due to COVID. She asked her friend for a refund, and now their 30-year friendship is ruined because she won't give her the money back and is suing for the $1,451 she's owed. This is the defendant, Taniqua. She says the Martin Lawrence show was not canceled. It was simply postponed. And refunds aren't issued for postponements. The tickets will be valid for another date. And 30-year friendship notwithstanding, she owes nothing. She's accused of failing a friend. The defendant's filed a countersuit for $1,000 for stress.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Wilson, you are suing your, well, I guess, former friend, because lawsuits have a way of affecting things, Taniqua, for $1,451 that you say she owes you for stress, and a bunch of tickets that your friends paid her for, and the concert was canceled. Tell me first what we're talking about. These were tickets to?
Martin Lawrence concert.
Okay, so the comedian, Martin Lawrence.
Yes.
Okay, and it was supposed to take place when?
April 3rd, 2020, at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Yeah, and then a funny thing happened on the way to the Barclays Center called the worldwide pandemic. So
Exactly.
now, how is it that you know Ms. Taniqua?
Well, Judge, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me. I've been knowing Taniqua and her family for more than 30 years. She has an extremely beautiful family. Her family and my family, we all love each other. Anytime I need something, her cousins, they'll come over, they'll help me with like big like boxes or furniture, anything like that. I'm just telling you that because she comes from good stock is my whole point.
Okay.
So when she made the post about she was selling tickets, I had no reservations in her credibility to produce the tickets or anything like that. I just said, okay, no problem.
So let's hold on one second. And Ms. Taniqua, why were you selling tickets?
Okay. Hi. Hello, Judge. So basically, a friend of mine who I partnered with, she gets really big discounts on anything, any tickets, just anything. So I extended it out to people that I knew, this is something going on. Let's see, everybody
Were
loves a
you going to
discount.
make like a cut or anything? Like, were you going to,
No.
for your troubles?
So-
Nothing?
No.
It's never the plan
No.
for you to make money.
Never the plan
Okay.
for me. I don't make anything off of it.
So it's $80 per ticket.
$80.
And normally the tickets would be how much?
I can't even tell you the original price of it because it was so long ago.
Do
I
you
know it was
remember,
in the
Ms.
hundreds.
Wilson, what the original price, like in other words, what kind of, was it a good discount?
So for those tickets, the original price would be at least $120,
Okay.
at least.
So it's a good discount.
And
Now,
that-
how is it that
exactly.
people paid for the ticket? Did they give her money directly?
No, those were my friends
Cash
celebrating
app.
my birthday. So I cashed app her some of it and I gave her cash.
Okay, so you paid for everybody's
well.
ticket and then you collected money from them? They paid you or no? You were paying for everybody?
No, my friends paid me
Right,
and
right.
I paid her.
Okay, I got it. So now everything gets canceled. All venues are shut down. We're in the middle of a pandemic and but that happens in March and you bought your tickets in January, was it? When did you buy your tickets?
January and February.
Okay,
I
so
purchased
did
tickets-
you get the barcodes and the seats and everything for the tickets?
I got a barcode receipt, correct.
Okay, the barcode receipt that you got, what does it say about the terms and conditions of the ticket?
It was just a barcode, and it said, I think the first one I got was like 1 through 7. And that was the only one I got because I kept emailing her to ask her, I need a receipt. I need a receipt. And Tanika kept telling me, this is the only way that you can get a receipt. And this is all she does. And she's been doing this for 14 years, so she knows what she's doing. I said, okay. I said, but what's going to happen the day of the show? She said, normally 24 hours before the show, you will get an email with the barcode so you and your friends could go inside the arena.
But why is the only paper you have, why does it only say 1 through 7?
I can answer that.
I kept asking her.
Ms. Taniqua,
Oh.
what's the answer to that?
The reason why, so like she stated, she purchased maybe 5, like she met me one day at my church, she purchased 5 tickets, and a couple days later she purchased some more tickets, and so it was as she was purchasing them, handing me the money, I would send off the money, and she would get a receipt. Now, what I will say,
I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Let her finish. Ms. Wilson, don't
Sorry.
interrupt. Ms. Wilson, I'm
sorry.
asking her, and you're interrupting in the middle of her explanation.
Okay.
She bought 12 tickets.
12 total.
So, yes, which is $960.
Okay.
It looks just like this.
Okay. Hold still. Pull it back a little bit because there's a glare. What does that say? In white, it says 1 through what?
1 through 12.
Okay,
So,
pull back. Yes. Go back
I
there.
zoomed in.
Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to give me, does that have the barcode on it?
Yes, see, the barcode is...
Okay, good. So what you're going to do right now is you're going to send that to us, and I'm going to give that to her. So we have now removed the issue that you don't have proof of 12 seats because I see the proof of 12 seats. So you may not have had that. You say you never got it. Fine. Now you have it. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of this case, which is the concert doesn't happen. And then you are on these texts telling her you're going to get her money back. What exactly is the position of the venue and Ticketmaster about getting money back?
Okay, so when everything was shut down, that I want to say a few days later, which I presented at right away, she texted me. She said, "Tanika, please send me back my money." And I started explaining to her right away. I said, "Kathy, there is no way I can send you back money if a venue does not send it back. They haven't sent back anything. You have to wait." She goes, "No, Tanika, just get the money back." And I said, "Kathy, please, they're not sending back money." So as time went on, what I started doing was, because again, it wasn't just her 12 seats. We're talking about, it was 20 something on my end. I started going on checking literally almost every other day to Barclay and Ticketmaster. And the exact words is what I sent to the court was, there is no refund for any shows that says postponed. What it states is, if your show is postponed, your ticket will be valid once the new date is set.
So this is the venue.
Yes, and there's multiple evidence from the venue, only because randomly once a month I would go on to see if there was any update or anything, just to see, if they're getting money back, because Miss Kathy stated to me that friends she know actually got their money back.
Do you have any proof that anybody got their money back, Ms. Wilson?
I didn't go to them to see whether they had their money back. When it was postponed, when I called myself, I spoke to people there, and they said yes. All you have to do, I spoke to people at the Barclays Center.
Do you have any proof of what you're saying that they would refund your money? Because I just read with my eyeballs that their policy online was, no, we're not. And truly, the reason that is their policy is because unlike, all right, if I contract with Douglas and I say, I am going to pay you $500 to take me out fishing, okay, because I know he's a good fisherman, and he doesn't take me out fishing, it's pretty clear under contract law that he breached the contract. He has to give me back my $500. But tickets to events are a different animal. They're a licensing agreement. And everyone knows, both parties to the licensing agreement have an inkling that if the singer gets laryngitis, there may be a postponement. If oh, I don't know, let me think of something really weird, like real out there. Oh, there's a worldwide pandemic. There might be a postponement.
Yes.
So that's how this stuff works. I am seeing, and you got this because she sent it to you by text, that Barclays is not refunding money for things that are postponed. So why are you saying that they are? Can you prove that they are?
Well, first of all, Judge, I spoke to people at Barclays, number one. I spoke to
So
friends,
show me the
number
proof
two.
that they said that. No, I'm still on number one. You can't prove it.
Okay.
And so what?
Well,
and
I
plus,
guess
what I
the
saw
number
you
is-
say over and over in the text to her is just go through the credit card company. But,
That's what was my next thing.
Right. But you can't
Right.
pretend you
How?
didn't buy tickets. How are
I'm
you going to do
lying.
that?
No.
You'd have to lie.
I would be
If
lying.
you bought the tickets,
That's what I said to her.
right? The credit card
That's
company
what I
doesn't
said to her.
refund the money just because
I
you
said
bought
that to
tickets
her.
and it got postponed. But now here's
never
what
said
I'd
that
like
to
to
me.
understand, Miss Taniqua. Why am I seeing you saying in the last text to her that you're going to refund people's money?
I said, I will give you back your $80, and that's what I cashed app her back on the 17th.
Actually, you cashed after 89 by accident.
So that was a mistake.
Okay.
It was supposed to be $80.
But
and the
all
reason why
these
I did
other
that,
people,
Judge, is because-
did you ever say, I'm working on getting
No.
them their money?
No.
Yeah, you
I
kind of
said
did. I
what
mean,
I-
I saw it in the text.
No, yes. What I said
yes,
to her
not
was,
no.
I'm going to send
Yes, that's
you...
what when I said no, what I meant was yes. All right. I want
What
to
it is,
see
is
something
I
that
guess-
says tickets from April 3rd will be honored October 30th. Where can I see that?
Oh, that is actually in pretty much all of the... Hold on, let me see. Event postponed. Hold on. Here it is. It's on page 19, which is something that I sent
Of
her.
what,
Page
the
19.
text?
Yes, page 19. And it looks like this, Judge.
Okay. So it is rescheduled for October 30th, the Lit Tour. Yep.
Yes.
And the date on that is
October 30th.
2021?
Yeah.
No, I don't mean that. The date that it came out, because I also sent you something, Judge, that says if this show, Martin Lawrence, has not been, if a new date has not been given within 60 days of the date, all refunds will be given back.
Can I please see that?
Yes, that's in the email.
No, just tell me exactly what date the email you want me to see says that. That's what I need.
Sure. And also,
no, now, not and. Right now, tell me the date of the email that you want me to see that says what you just said. That's what I need right now, not anything else, just that right now.
Okay, that email should be off the...
Her email was page 21 that I sent you. What looks like this. And it does not have, my issue was it did not have a letterhead from Barclay and I kept asking.
No, I want to see something that shows that it's from Barclay.
Exactly.
Is that what you're going to show me? Just typing on a piece of paper? Don't even bother to look for it.
Judge, I got this offline from the Barclay site.
Yeah, I know. That's you talking, though. You understand that's not proof. That's just the word postponed, lit, performing, and that's all it is. You understand that doesn't say Barclays. All I need is for you to prove your case. That's all I need. Because otherwise, the law is that you got to go on the postponed date. And then you have a she has added to her claim $500 for stress, and you have added a counterclaim $1,000 for stress. Why? Because you guys are in a pickle and it's particularly stressful?
Nope.
What is your counterclaim for $1,000 based on, Ms. Taniqua?
Yes. You can see I ended up going into the emergency room and having to go see a neurologist on November 16th.
And does a neurologist say it's because she calls you a lot about her money?
No, it said it was because of stress. And I'll tell you why.
Is this the only stress in your life, her?
No, can I just explain? What happened was she was calling me one day, November 10th. She must have called me, I kid you not, it was like 20-something. I started crying. I was just like, how dare she think that I would do this to her? She called me 20 times. I even said to her, I sent her a text, which I sent to you. I said, how dare you call me almost 12 midnight? Stop calling me. I said, and then I told her, I don't want to call you. I don't want to speak to you over the phone. I want everything in text messages. I repeatedly said that. Only text me. She called me. So at one point, I'm like, you know what? I picked up. When I tell you this lady, she's like, Tanika, how dare you? And it was just a going back and forth. She screamed. And I'm like, are you serious? When I tell you, Judge, immediately, my head went,
oh my gosh.
I said, click. And I actually thought, I said, oh my God, I hope I didn't have an aneurysm because of the way she was screaming. So I laid down, took a pill. It was 3 days.
You gotta be kidding me.
I'm like, I don't get headaches for more than one day. So I waited. And then then all of a sudden, I was in my room with the lights off. I said, you know what? And mind you, I didn't know she was bringing me to court months later. This is back in November. And I can prove that she called me on November 11th. On November 16th, I ended up in the emergency room where I had to get an IV to get a certain medication to shock the headache. This has never happened to me before, which I sent to you guys.
Do you have something from a doctor that says this lady put you in the hospital? No, you don't. I know you don't. Please don't say yes. Yeah, it says stress.
No,
okay.
I wouldn't say yes.
All right, everybody's done. We're done. No, stick a fork in me. I am done. I am done. The concert is October 30th. You make sure that you get my staff that document that you showed me that says 12 tickets. The number of tickets purchased were 12.
Judge.
You are going to have the proof of the 12 tickets, and if you don't want to go October 30th, you sell them. But she did not breach any contract with you by creating a worldwide pandemic and depriving you of the Martin Lawrence tickets. So the plaintiff's lawsuit against the defendant, 0. In the defendant's counterclaim against the plaintiff, block her, and then you don't go to the hospital. 0 also. Good luck, ladies.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Judge.
Nobody gets anything, unfortunately. Ms. Wilson, you don't get your money back. What are you thinking right now? Okay. Well, she's speechless, to be honest with you. Taniqua, let me ask you something. How do you feel about this? You're not getting the $1,000 you wanted. How are you feeling, by the way? You feeling better?
Much better. Let me tell you, I blocked her after that, but much better. But I'm just glad the judge was able to see. She's insane.
Let me ask you a question. You know, you've been friends for like 30 years. What, is that over now?
So you know what it is? You know what it is? I noticed she's the type of person, what I noticed is she's the type of person that I don't even think she keeps friends for more than 30 days. We're friends with the family. They're all very nice people, everyone. But she's just the type of person that I'd rather not be friends with because she's just a little different.
Okay. So it's over with her then? Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Good enough.
Bye-bye.
That'll do it for this case. Let's see what Harvey's thinking about it right now.
Okay, Doug, here's the deal. The plaintiff didn't win this case because the concert is next month. The venue didn't refund the money. It just simply said the concert is postponed. You can come in October. And that's what happened. The defendant didn't get money back. And because of that, the defendant doesn't have an obligation to give the plaintiff anything. The defendant doesn't have to shell out money and front it for the plaintiff. They're both victims of this, but they can both enjoy the Martin Lawrence concert.
Marilyn, what is the one product you couldn't live without?
My Keurig machine, my coffee maker.
Your coffee maker?
My coffee maker.
Really?
I think so.
You know, having spent the last year during the COVID lockdown with you, I was going to guess it would have been that wine opener.
Oh, the rabbit wine opener. Yes. I can't live without my rabbit.
Right, exactly.
that wine opener is the best.
Yes, it's easy and quick and painless.
And my iPad, I think my iPad also, that's a tie between the coffee maker and my iPad.
Until about 5 or 6 p.m., then maybe a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Right. Me, it's probably, I usually carry around a small, tiny little pocket knife. It only has a 2-inch blade, a ProTech knife, and I love it because you can do so much with it. You can slice stuff with it, open boxes.
You do have that in your pocket a lot.
You can do anything with it. You can even open a bottle of beer with it. If you use the back, the spine, you can get.
You are so talented. Stay away, girls. It's mine.